Hi, I'm Tim Olson with Yamaha. We're out here at Glen Helen with TransWorld. We know there's a lot of anticipation building for the new YZ250F. So we got a few pre-productions for the journalists to go out and ride, tell you guys what they think. It's exactly the same as the bike that'll be in dealerships in November. So we're gonna let them go ride, see what they think, and have a good time.
Hi, I'm Ryan Strat. We're at Glen Helen, out here riding the pre-production YZ250F. My first impression for the bike is that coming out of the corners, it pulls really hard. Compared to last year's stock bike, it just pulls it away and it runs pretty close to my mod bike. Stock to stock power is a lot different because last year's stock bike coming out of the corners, there just wasn't that much there. And now this year's, there's a lot more there. It just pulls way harder and it pulls longer, it revs farther, and goes a lot faster. Sitting on it, it's a little bit wider than last year's bike, but for the 450, it's way skinnier than the last one. I think it handles better than last year's. It sets up for the corners good, and most people thought, like, going through the corners, it kind of slid last year. I feel like that's gone. I mean, if my friend asked me about it, I'd tell him if he thought last year's bike was good, this one would be 10 times better.
Hey, Brendan Lutz here with TransWorld Motocross. We got invited out by Yamaha to Glen Helen today to try out the all-new YZ250F. They have a few pre-production models for the press to try out. We're getting 3 hours on the bike to get our first initial impression and fill you guys in on what we thought. This bike compared to the stock 2013, obviously it's fuel injected. That's the biggest change. Power-wise, I really noticed that this new bike has way more mid and top. I really had to keep it revved out in order to keep it in the meat of the power band. But when it was in the mid and top, the bike just ripped. It really revved out far, produced great usable power down straightaways, and as long as I kept it in the mid, in the corners and everything, it was really fast. Obviously they reversed the engine on this bike. It's the exact same design as the new YZ450 is that we rode a couple months ago. Handling wise, this bike feels a lot like the 450. But compared to last year's bike, which was already a great handling machine, this one, it feels more connected to the track to me, and it has a lighter feel. It's very flickable in the air. And coming into corners, I did have to mess with the rear shock a little bit. I slowed down the rebound and stiffened it up. It kind of helped it settle into the ruts a little bit better out there. And I also found that in corners, I had to really get over the front of the bike. And with the way that this new gas tank's designed, it actually is really easy to get up over the front for corners. Overall, after just riding this bike for a couple motos, I'm pretty impressed with it. Definitely an improvement over last year's. The motor's fast. That dreaded Yamaha bog that we complain about on the old YZ250F is not there anymore. But we're going to be getting the production model in a couple months from now, so stay tuned for more.